had the opportunity to see about 15 minutes worth of Project Hail Mary, my personal most anticipated science fiction release of 2026. Here are my honest thoughts. For any first-timers, Project Hail Mary is based off an Andy Weir novel by the same name that I personally consider to be among Andy Weir's best work, taking place in a world in which the sun and every other star in our immediate solar system save for one has been infected by a mysterious substance that is killing them. The only person even potentially qualified to explain what might be happening being a molecular biologist turned middle school teacher with no formal space experience. The thing that distinguished Hail Mary to me is that it amends the greatest flaw Andy Weir works typically have, that the protagonists feel too similar to each other. Granted, this is because there is an extremely specific type Andy Weir is comfortable writing because he writes it well, but Ryland Grace is made distinct from that type. And from the few minutes I saw of his performance, I think Ryan Gosling has done an extremely good job of taking this character that doesn't always come across as endearing within the novel and made him engaging, sympathetic, and somebody you want to actively root for. That's not to say that Ryland Grace isn't any of those things in the original novel, this is to say this is an interpretation that I feel gives him new life. But setting aside performances, the thing that primarily caught my eye during the panel is the sheer attention to detail, because that is the thing that Andy Weir novels are arguably best known for. Because although there are obviously elements of these stories that require you to lean towards the fantastic, the thing that Andy Weir novels are best known for are their extensive, constant efforts to remain as scientifically accurate as possible. Scientifically accurate science fiction, that is the appeal of his work, and it appears the movie has sunk in similar efforts. Ones that I appreciate most being the prioritization of practical sets and practical effects, for a movie in which it would be expected and entirely acceptable for it to primarily incorporate CGI. And don't be mistaken, by nature of this being a space movie, obviously there will be some, but it beautifully complements every other element that has been constructed, which is how I believe CGI ought to be used.